I don't think that you should or could ever promise the 100% solution, day one. I think you have to describe the journey that you could be going on. What could go right in the next 6 months with a lightweight pilot?
What do your entrepreneurs, I don't know if you call them EIRs in residence or your founders or CEOs that you bring in, but what do they tell you is different? And I want to know what's both better and worse about building a company inside a studio versus what they may have done before as a typical venture-backed outsider or bootstrapped or however they did it.
Yeah, I think that the prevailing feedback that we get is that it takes a village, and we bring the village. And again, very importantly, part of that village are the partner organizations that we're working with. And so we almost seek out, not just because the folks who have done it before have all of that wonderful experience, but because they know how hard it can be. And they're drawn to this model of doing it with the village versus going it alone. There are just so many instances of talking to corporations where they say we engaged with the startup and we loved them, but it did about 60% of what we needed it to do.
Yeah.
It didn't go all the way. And so we didn't re-up with them. And if we can all come together and say, well, what's the model that would get you 100% of the way there? And then swarm those founders and co-founders together, we think that can absolutely be a tailwind. And we see just faster traction and faster growth for the startup itself. And it's because of that village mentality.
It makes a lot of sense. It does run a little bit contrary, I think, to some of the advice that, like, for instance, we at Alchemist might give a 0 to 1 stage founder, the type of folks we tend to work with, to like nail that 60%, and ship, right?
Sure.
Don't worry about the 95, 99. And,
sure.
But the reason I mention that is, I'm not to say, hey, Matt, I disagree with you, right? But it's, I think there's a natural tension there between the expectations that are just so deeply ingrained into corporates, especially if they're thinking about this from a procurement lens, which I realize is probably what you try and avoid. But, those expectations and the model and the iterative model and the agility required for a startup. So how do you help your partners navigate that? So many people who listen to this podcast have kind of pulled their hair out and exploded trying to navigate that difference of expectations.
You're using the exact right word. It really is about expectation setting. And I don't think you're right. I don't think that you should or could ever promise the 100% solution, day one. I think you have to describe the journey that you could be going on. What could go right in the next 6 months with a lightweight pilot? I was on a call even just earlier today, an investment call with a group of executives where we're having that expectation setting kind of a conversation. They were going through build, buy, partner kinds of rationale. And we would argue there's this other category of venture building itself.
Yep.
And if you pursue build, buy, partner, or venture build de novo startup, the expectations should be adjusted.
Yes.
The timelines should be adjusted. The returns should be adjusted. And so you might have something that's a 30% solution after 6 months. But can you describe how that startup, by working with that big corporation, could get them closer to 100 over time? That is the kind of expectation setting and communication that needs to be present in order to tell that hopeful story.